notification. 0 seconds. Beep. Join. New notification. Join the party. Press the PS button for details.
Hey, Joe.
Hello.
Look, I need your help. Can you get on Fortnite soon? I
That's
need your
good.
help. Look,
I find this a little funny.
listen, I know you're on Minecraft or something, but just listen. I need your help with something.
Okay, real quick, wanna why I find this a little funny?
Let me guess, because I haven't talked to you in weeks. Is that
That's
why?
that's not it.
Okay, what is it then?
I was
You're
on
on
the game.
Minecraft?
I was on the game. The game that you're talking about. I was on it not that long ago, and you were not even on.
Well, let me see. It says over here that. Oh, you were on 2 hours ago. Well, the thing is, I wasn't there. I wasn't on because I was on for a walk. Like I was on a walk, walking.
Okay.
September 22.
Okay, look, I just need your help whenever you get on Fortnite. I need your help with this quest.
Space.
Did you... Wait, did you do the quest?
Which quest? The one
Did...
for like the robot. The one for the
Wait,
Power Ranger robot.
Wait, you don't know?
I honestly have no clue what you're talking about. I was on
Joe,
not that long ago, but I still have no idea what you're talking about.
James Bond just dropped an hour ago. That's why I need a help for this quest to try and get him.
Oh,
Oh,
like in the game, James Bond's in the game?
yeah. That's what I'm
Ah,
trying to get. I'm trying to get both him and his car, but I need help with the quest.
okay.
Let me guess, you really want to get James Bond as well?
I honestly didn't even know that he was I honestly did not even know that he was an option.
Yeah, an hour ago he just dropped, and I'm trying to figure out
How
ways
to
to
get
get
him.
him. Yeah, but I need your help with that. Hold up, one sec. On my way.
I mean,
Well, you'd be the one looking for fire, not me. Fire isn't in my description of staying alive. It's life. I'm back.
can I
Joe,
do something real quick?
did you hear me or any of my family members?
I heard the end, but I didn't hear the start.
And my mother was just saying that because the fire alarm has been going on since this morning, like early this morning, and she said it's meant to help us, like, so like if there's a fire going on. And I said, well, hopefully there's no fires anytime soon. And she said, oh fuck, I hope there's none ever.
Like he's going beep, beep.
Oh, kind of going beat, but more like it's like it sounds like a siren when it goes off, like you know those like tornado warning sirens. It kind of sounds like that,
Oh,
and it's like really loud. It's like it's gonna burst your eardrum.
like that's how loud it can get.
Yeah, yeah. Last time we had a neighbor complain because of how loud it was, and when we told him the reason, he was like, "Well, hopefully it doesn't happen again, but well, I think he's gonna complain again."
That's not. That's like. I don't think that's technically your. That wouldn't technically be your guys' fault if it's just like a fire thing, just keep going on and off. That's
Yeah,
technically not your fault. It's not like you guys were just playing loud music.
yeah, that's the thing. We told him that, and like, I don't know how old he is. He looks like he's in his 40s or 50s, but he said, like, you know, I got work in the mornings, and I said, yeah, but it doesn't happen every morning. And he said, yeah, but sometimes it does, and I don't even get to have my breakfast. And I said, mate, that sounds like a you problem, not mine. I just hope that neighbor moves away one day, because he gets on my fucking nerves. Do you want to know one of the reasons why I didn't hop on like 2 hours ago when you were on? Not only because I was on my walk, but the guy was being
No,
a fucking pest.
no, I knew we were doing something. I just wasn't sure what, or you were just
Well, I
like,
was on.
or you just didn't want to go on that day.
Oh no, like I was gonna hop on, but like I wanted to go on a walk with my dog because I wanted to take him on the walk before I went back home. And when I was about to walk inside, my neighbor said, "Hey, I've heard you talking loudly when you were playing your game. Can you turn it down? Like tone it down?" I said, "Dude, I'm still a minor and I'm allowed to talk loud." And he said, "Well, no, not in this neighborhood." And I said, before I walked inside as a joke, I said, "Bro, what are you, the fucking mayor? Calm your ass down." Do you find that funny of what I called him?
A little bit, yeah.
I want to know what his face was when I said that to him. Even though you can't see my
I'm
face.
guessing he either started laughing or he found it insulting.
Yeah, he found it insulting. His face was like look really red, like he was just about to knock someone out.
Ew.
I mean, at first he was nice to us, but then, well,
After a while, it was like, okay, you're not as nice as I thought.
yeah. So at first, like he was nice to us, you know, welcoming us to the neighborhood and stuff. But then after a while, that's
Doing
when
like the
he started.
neighbors thing.
Yeah, he was doing the neighbor thing for like 2 weeks or so, and then later on he started getting like, okay, so like for example, it was my birthday on June, right? As you know, well you kind of know my birthday. It was my birthday on
honestly
June.
did not know that.
Dude, you celebrated my birthday with me on my old account. How do you not remember the birthday?
I forgot.
Oh, for goodness sake. Anyways, my family came over for my birthday, and do you want to know what he thought was going on? He thought my family were gangsters.
Because of how loud?
Yeah, and he said, "Oh, he said that he's gonna have to call the cops." And I said, "Why is that?" And he said, "Because you got gangsters at your house." And I said, "I'm not gangsters in my family. It's my birthday." And he was like, "Bullshit." And I said, "Bull true, actually." God, the guy pisses me off sometimes.
Well, I don't have to worry. Well, I don't have to worry about that.
Just a question, if you lived next to us and he was, like, you know, your neighbor, what would you have said to him if he kept complaining against you and your family?
At
What would you
first,
have done?
first I like, okay. At first, probably like, okay, and then after a while, like, all right, you've been living other than you next to you for a while. I did give him the
You're trying to
sometimes I
figure out what to say.
yeah.
Pardon? What was that?
Yeah, try for
You're trying to figure out what to say on that situation.
like I would try for yeah, I would try yeah, cause I have no idea. I'd probably say something and then I probably wouldn't say something at first, but then after a while, like, alright, uh, probably like, you're getting you're getting annoying.
You're getting
See
annoying.
how well see how well he responds to the words that he's getting annoying. Probably stop so that way he doesn't have to hear the words that he's annoying.
Hmm.
Which I'm sure that nobody wants to hear.
To be
Nobody
honest,
wants
do
to
you
hear
wanna
the
know? Do you
words
wanna
that
know?
they are
Do you
annoying.
wanna, do you wanna know something funny?
Mm.
He complains to us slash the other neighbors and us that we play loud music when we hear him playing loud music. How does that make sense?
It really does not make no sense whatsoever.
Because he said to us, like last week, for example, he said like,
Because I kind of
because
have the
we were
set
playing, we
real quick.
were kind of playing.
Just wait, hold on, real quick. I kind of like for me, it's kind of like the similar situation, but not really. Because sometimes from my bedroom window, I can hear Mexican music playing.
Hmm.
I can hear Mexican music and coyotes. You have no idea what coyotes are, huh?
I do know what coyotes are. They're in GTA, and I know what they are. They're kind of like dogs. But,
Yeah, but not really.
hmm.
Yeah, so I can hear Mexican music and loud dogs, but the thing is that I don't complain
Hmm.
because it usually sometimes it happens when I'm trying. Sometimes one time it happened when I was trying to go to sleep.
Thing is that they're Mexican people, and I know you're kind of Mexican.
Yeah,
Half.
so in my head I'm like,
You're,
yeah,
you're
so in
like
my head
half
I'm like, I
Mexican.
kind of get it.
You're like half Mexican, correct?
Yeah, so in my head I'm
One
like, all right,
thing
I kind of get
I
it.
have, I have a Mexican neighbor, and like this is part of the story. It's that last week, he was playing like music because it was like what is
Isn't this the
Kenji?
name? Wait, hold on, real quick. Isn't he the neighbor that wasn't he the neighbor that was complaining?
No, different guy.
Okay.
I don't know what this
Because
is in English,
just
but
real quick, if it was him, then if it was him, then it would be. Then I would kind of wondering like, huh? I would kind of be wondering like, huh? Why would he be complaining if he kind of does the same thing same thing in
no,
with parties?
it's a different guy. So
Okay, so
um,
now it makes a little more sense.
so the Mexican guy was holding Quinceañera. It's that's a birthday in English, right? Quinceañera, if I'm
Yeah, it's
saying
like
that right.
a yeah, yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So
It's
he
like
was
another
having
word for party. I don't know what kind of party, but I know in my head I'm like, all right, it is another term for party.
ah, thanks. So he was having quinceañera, and the neighbor, I saw him like walk up to his driveway, and I saw him having a beer with his I presume that's his friends or his brothers, and he asked the Mexican guy, which I know his name, Pedro. He says, "Hey, can you keep the music down?" And he says, "Well, I can't because it's my daughter's quinceañera." Which I now presume, yes, it would be birthday because, the word, it's my daughter's quinceañera.
Yeah,
So, guy that does the complaining told him to keep the music down. Pedro still says, it's my daughter's quinceañera, and no, we don't have to turn the music down. And the guy threatened to call the cops, and he said, do you want to know what Pedro said, the Mexican dude said?
mm.
He said, "Oh, now I know why you didn't have friends in school because you complained a lot." I found I found that
It
funny.
sounds,
Ah,
yeah, it sounds funny, and also would also kind of makes seems like it also would make sense too.
I love how he said that like out of the blue. He said, "Huh, no wonder why you don't have friends in school because he always complained a lot." And you all know what the guy did? The guy
Nothing.
that complained? He just didn't even say anything, and he just ran back to his house. And then I yelled out, "Yeah,
But,
go back home, bitch!" That's what I
but
yelled out. Go back home, bitch.
oh, there was an
What were you
Enderman that
saying,
just
sir?
walked. Like if it was like a like that. Like if it was like the guy that was having that quinceanera party, and if
Hmm.
he was the one that was complaining, then that would be I would find it a little bit difficult because he's having a because of I would find that a little difficult. But if it's a different guy, then
There is one thing I learned about Mexican people. Do you want to know?
hmm,
Do
what's
you want
that?
to know, Joe, what that is?
Sure,
If
what's that?
Mexican people are playing loud music or, having parties or whatever, you don't tell them to stop, you know? You let
They'll just
them.
say like, "Hey, we're having a celebration," or I'm just because I sometimes listen to music, but I listen to music while I'm working on a carving,
Mm. Well, the thing is, like,
and
Pedro,
I just make the carving with the
when
flow of the
we
music.
when we first moved in, Pedro, the Mexican neighbor, mentioned like if he plays loud music, he apologizes, but it would be like, he's
Because of a party that he's
yeah,
throw a party that he's
it'd be
having.
either because of a party he's having or because like he's working
Uh,
and like he
like
mentions that he
if he's
like he
one
mentioned he mentioned to us he works while listening to loud music, in which he if people complain about him he will turn it down if he can, but like if it's a party he can't because, well, this was his words. He said, "Why would I turn down the music during a party? It wouldn't be a party." Which, true words.
which also which also kind of makes sense.
I mean, if there's music being played at a party, you can't say, "Oh, guys, we're just gonna turn off the music because the neighbors complained." You don't
Or
turn off
turn
the
it
music
down.
because of that.
Like it kind like if it's a party, kind of makes sense a little bit.
Hmm.
Like it's a party.
Hmm. When you hopping on.
Soon.
If you're wondering why I keep saying a lot, it's because like I'm eating pancakes. That's why.
Yeah, I
I
could hear.
forgot.
Yeah, I could hear like I could hear like smacking when you're like chewing.
Oh, sorry, dude. It's just
That's
I
what.
didn't get to have. It's just because I didn't get to have breakfast this morning.
That's what. That's fine. I don't mind it, but I
But like,
find
if it's
I
if it's
I
but
find
if
it
it's
like a no.
loud,
I
but
find
if it's
find
sorry, sorry,
like
dog.
I was gonna say that I find stuff like that. I find stuff like that very annoying.
Like if it's loud or something.
Like if someone like makes a like if someone's making like a video where like video with chew like video like a video with chewing in it.
Oh, you mean the mukbangs?
Yeah, I hate. Yeah, why? I'll watch them, I'll watch them, but I kind of hate them
To be honest,
because of that reason.
last time I watched a mukbang was like probably in 2020, and to be honest, I flopped that day because like
Because of the
I'm not
chewing and
gonna
stuff.
I'm not gonna say the whole reason why, but let's just say the guy showed some food in his mouth, and I started throwing up. I was like, dude, I didn't need to
Yeah, if
see
it was
that
like,
shit.
if it was like soda, like if it was like like a beverage, I get. If it was a beverage, I get it.
Hmm.
But if it's food, nobody needs to see your teeth.
Yeah, that's one thing you told me before. You said like no one needs to see your teeth when you're eating. See, the thing is, I chew like I don't chew loud, but I eat with manners. Like I keep my mouth closed so like no one sees the food because I don't want to make them feel sick.
Yeah.
I have
Or
manners.
yeah. Or sometimes I'll just. You already know. You already know that sometimes I'll mute my mic if I'm eating when I'm eating food.
Yeah, I know that. Because every time I remember. You might remember this. Remember we were playing the Cayo Perico heist?
Yeah, I muted my mic.
We're flying to Cayo Perico. Like it
Yeah,
was my my mission.
yeah.
We're getting to the airport and I heard you quickly mute your microphone, and when I asked what are you doing, I heard you like kind of with a full mouth but you were still chewing it, and you were like, I'm eating. And I was like, "What? What are you eating?" And you didn't even answer until I kept repeating myself. And you were like,
It was
"A
that good.
sandwich." You were like chewing, chewing, chewing. You didn't talk to me. Joe, what are you eating? Chewing, chewing. What are you chewing? And then you were like, "Sandwich." I love
It was
how
a
you
good
didn't
freaking
talk.
sandwich.
I love how you didn't talk to me, and I had to repeat myself 3 times until you finally said sandwich.
It was a good. It must have in your head. You're like, that must be a good sandwich.
Yeah, I was like, you know what I was thinking when I was flying the plane?
Yeah.
You didn't hear, but my tummy was rumbling, and I was like, fuck, now I want a sandwich.
Nope.
What sandwich are you eating? I don't know
I
if you
don't.
remember.
On that day,
Yeah, do you remember or no?
not really.
It probably was something with meat on it, because I kept hearing like something crunchy in the sandwich.
Oh, maybe it was bacon.
Oh, of course, bacon.
That's a type. That's a type of meat. I know that.
Yeah, yeah, I know that as well.
And so, and the same thing is also made with. Oh, I also figured out, found some out about like sausages at work,
What about that?
like how they're made.
Hmm.
It's like made with like pig, like stuff from like another like more pig is used to make
You
them.
know, like there's other parts of sausages. There's beef sausages, which is
Yeah,
made from cows.
yeah. No, I'm just saying like the part that's like wrapped around it for make it.
Yeah.
It's another part of a pig.
You know what just happened to my eyes just now? My eyes just widened because it means I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
I've been eating sausages for 12 years and I don't even know how I didn't know that.
I
What the
just
fuck?
a friend from work told me that. And
What was your reaction?
I was like, huh, I didn't know that.
Huh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, my head was like, huh. Well, that's a good thing though. You're eating a pig stacked on top of another, stacked on top of a pig,
To be honest, that sounds delicious.
Yep,
Eating a pig on top of another pig.
or the same pig.
Yeah, well, it could be the same pig.
Yeah, or it could be a different pig, depending on what flavor profile you were trying to do. You don't know what I mean
You
by
know,
flavor profile, huh? Or do you?
yeah, well, kind of, yeah, but, I remember in KO, one thing I keep remembering from KO Perico that day?
But oh, real quick,
Not
wanna
of
some?
the, not,
Real quick,
not
wanna
of the
some?
sandwich. Hold up, not of the sandwich, but I remember, you remember, like, I never got caught by the guards while we were
Yeah,
scoping out the island?
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember
It kind of
you
pissed me off. It kind of pissed me off for a little bit.
Now you're gonna remember this. You were almost raging because you every time when you were like trying to get close to me, so like we could scope out the island together. You'd always get caught by either a camera or a jeep or a guard, and
Yeah,
that would always
I would
piss
get
me off.
pissed off because you would not get caught, and I would get caught.
And I remember you said, "How the fuck do you not get caught?" And I said, "Because I'm always near the bushes." And I remember you said, I swear to God, if I get caught one more fucking time, I'm about to lose my shit. You got caught and you didn't even speak for like half an hour.
That's how
Were
mad I
you?
was.
I know you were still playing, but like you weren't moving at all, and I was like thinking like, oh no,
But
did Joe rage or something?
I'm guessing that I didn't. I'm guessing that I didn't leave the game. My character sat there, and my character just sat there and didn't do nothing for a while.
But I did hear something.
What did you hear?
I did. I heard you going like this. Hold up. You went like.
Like you heard me breathing really heavy.
Like you sounded like you're about to knock someone out. Oh my god, that was a hilarious day.
I sounded like I was about like ready to like. All right, if I was sounded like I was ready to get into fight.
Yeah, you were. I heard you say like in anger though. You're like, okay, I'm gonna try again, but if I die, I'm turning off the game.
Yeah,
You're like,
like all right, I want to try. Like all right, I want to try, but I'm gonna try again. But this time, if I die, I quit.
like you were gonna get off for like probably for the day and then try again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then
Then
I
I ended up.
remember
I'm guessing
right.
I ended up not doing that.
I remember when you got back, it said like you were like, okay, let's scope, and then I was like, oh Joe, I already scoped the island. We gotta get back to the plane. And you were like, what the fuck? I took that long?
Yeah. Yeah,
What the fuck?
because I know sometimes I tend to leave, but I don't
Hmm.
know how, long I'm gone.
That's one thing I found funny is that like before you get on Fortnite, that's one thing I found funny. You're like, okay, since I'm not gonna lose my shit, I'm just gonna go off for probably a minute or so. Half an hour later, you come back and I'm like, oh, dude, by the way, we gotta get back to the plane or we skipped out the island. You're like, what the fuck? He's done already?
Yeah.
You wanna know how I did all that?
Guessing
When you
stealthing with
were.
the bushes.
Yeah, I was stealth in the bushes, scoped out everything, and right when I heard you, like, walking back, I was like, oh, wait until Joe finds out that I just did the mission for us. And then when you said, like, oh, what the fuck, how'd you do that? Then I was like, yep. And I remember, oh gosh, what was the mission? You remember the Pacific Standard Bank mission? You know, the one
Yeah.
where we had to be
Yeah,
with four
where
players?
it's like the hacking thing where you get introduced into hacking.
Yeah, you remember,
Then
you
you had to
remember
get the
the.
car. Then you had to get. Then you had to get a big giant freaking magnet and then attach it to the car, and it picks
Yeah,
you
yeah,
up right
that one.
before you get to the police. Right before you're in front of the police.
Yeah. You remember how we had to only get four people? I
Yeah,
remember you and me would spend like half an hour to look for people to play with us, you remember? Because like most of our friends, we'd send invitations to friends online, but they wouldn't join us for some reason. So we had to look for random players, but do you wanna know what the funniest thing was? Well, kind of the most annoying thing, I should say. Is that whenever one of them would die, they would just basically leave, and it would piss us off because the game won't, like, do it with three people. We need four. And I remember when one person kept leaving, you're like, B, can I talk to you for a second? I was like, sure. And you're like, dude, one more person leaves, I'm about to break my PlayStation.
like
I heard you. I
I
heard you
was
say,
saying, like if one more person leaves, I'm gonna lose my mind.
yeah, that's what you said. You were like, dude, one more person leaves, I'm losing my mind. And I was like, don't worry, we'll find someone. But then I remember that two of the guys that were with us originally, they left. And you got very pissed off because you were like, dude, I have, like, you were like, I have 3 seconds from losing my mind because all these people are leaving. Then when I finally decided, fuck it, I'm just gonna talk to one of my friends. He grabbed two of his friends, and then this is when both you and me lost our mind. Because you might remember or not, they kept dying.
Yeah, my head, I was
And
like,
you,
in my head, I was like, I was like, my head was like upset that they kept dying, but I on one end on one end I was like, I am so mad that they keep dying, but in my on one other end I'm like, I'm glad I don't have to keep searching and searching and searching.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I'm pissed that they're dying, but I'm glad me and B doesn't have to spend an hour trying to search for people to play with us.
Yeah.
To be honest, I remember when we were searching. Do you remember we started that war in the session? Because
When I was in my half track?
Because do you remember? What was it? I was in the casino and you were waiting outside for me in your car. And do you remember that there was a player who was trying to steal your car? So like he was trying to get you out.
Yeah.
And you remember you ran him over and he got most of his friends after you. Then when I got out of the casino, you weren't there until you picked me up. And then now the whole lobby was chasing after us because you just killed that guy. And I was like, what the fuck did you do? And you were like, long story.
Like long story? Yeah, but I honestly don't know. But right now, long story short, that guy kept killing me. I killed him back, and he kept chasing me.
More like I asked, like, oh, what happened? You're like, short story is the guy was trying to steal my car, ran him over, killed him. He called his friends. Now we got the fucking army after us. And I said, yeah, you think? Because there were guys in tanks, helicopters, planes.
I honestly forgot that some people had tanks.
I remember you kept hearing explosions and you were like, that's our RPG. And I said, Joe, you might want to move fast. And you were like, what, why? And I was like, you might want to look behind you. You look slowly behind you and you're like, you drove so fast after you said, oh fuck, that's a tank. They got a tank. Oh my god, that made me laugh. What, why? Just turn around. Oh fuck, they got a tank.
Yeah. Because for a while, I knew there was tanks in the game, but at that moment, I did not see a single person in a tank. Well, I would see him in a tank, but I'd see him on Warstock, but I didn't.
But you didn't know they were gonna grab a tank.
No, I knew they were gonna chase us, but I did not. But I wasn't expecting for them to be like, "All right, grab the tanks." I didn't expect that.
I remember after we killed a few of them, I remember one thing you said to me.
What?
Before you hopped off, you were like, B, if we ever go in another session, can you make sure I don't kill anyone so we don't start another war? And I was like, yeah, I'll make sure you don't. And you were like, good.
I find that kind of funny. You could kill someone in the game, and yet you will get depending on the person that you take out, you will get the whole lobby right after you. I think that was like the first time I had a lobby chase me.
You mean first time we had a lobby chase us?
Yeah.
You know, I remember hearing before you were getting off, I remember hearing you I think you were somewhere in your room, but on the mic, you were like, what a fucking day, getting chased by an army, and you're like, fucking brilliant, what a life we lead. Wow.
I think was I recording that too or not? For YouTube?
You were, and I remember you had to. This made you pissed off because apparently YouTube told you to delete it because there were too much swearing.
I forgot that YouTube is sensitive to cursing.
Well, you can swear sometimes, but you can't swear all the time.
Yeah. At that, I rarely do, but at that moment I couldn't stop because at that moment but I couldn't stop.
Probably because there was an army chasing after us.
Yeah, because I was like, because in my head I was like, Alright, you flagged one of my videos, but that was not my fault. I didn't mean to, there were just so many people chasing me. I was panicking and I was saying stuff I didn't even realize that it was flagged. I honestly did not even realize I was flagged. And wait, hold on. Didn't you tell me that it was flagged? Or how did
Yeah,
find out it was flagged?
because I remember like that day, the day after. You know what I mean. The next day after that day, I told you, oh, dude, you might want to check your video that you posted, the one with the war, like the whole war, and you were like, yeah, why is that? And I was like, just check it, and you were like, what the fuck? I got flagged for what? And I said, we sweared too much, and you were like, fuck sakes.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
And I remember on that video, you got like maybe 500 views, and now all that went down the drain after they removed it.
That was my most highest That was the thing about it. That was my most highest video that I did.
And you know one thing I remember? There were 40 comments on there, like saying like, "Oh my gosh, you got war on you. Oh my gosh, your session was like World War III or something like. Oh, this is cool. You and your friend trying to survive. That was cool."
Yeah.
But like, there
Man,
is one.
those were good times. If you ever
I
get
do
PlayStation
remember.
Plus, want to do that again?
Hold up. Let me hold up. Let me finish talking for a second. I do remember on the Pacific Standard, which let me finish that. Whenever the people would get killed, like my friends, you'd get pissed because now this is the twist you might not remember. When we were playing, right? When we were playing, I asked my friend exactly what level your friends, and do you remember what he said?
What?
You might not. He said that his friends are level 1, and you're like, so that fucking explains why they keep dying.
I
Remember that?
honestly forgot that's what I said.
You were like, yeah, why do they keep dying? Are they like bad at the game? They're like, and my friend was like, oh no, it's because they're both level 1, and you're like, so that fucking explains why they keep dying. I love that reaction. So that fucking explains why they kept dying. And I remember one of them said, sorry guys, it's just we're new to GTA, we've never played, and you were like, I remember you whispered to me when they didn't hear you were like, Brooklyn, should we just leave and just find more experienced players? And I was like, yeah, agreed. I know for a fact you were pissed off that day.
Damn it.
You were pissed off that day, weren't you?
Yeah. And did you hear me Did you hear me say something right now?
Mm-hmm.
Why I said that?
Why?
Because I got killed by a skeleton.
Are you hopping on Fortnite now? Tell me with the James Bond quest.
Stop recording.
Oh shit.